When siblings fight, things can get ugly quick. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to handle the situation. Hey sitters, I recently had a question from Maya asking about how to handle fighting siblings, and that is such a great question. But first, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you can learn more, to earn more, and have more fun. Sibling rivalry, sibling fighting, it can get ugly, and it can get ugly fast. I have a couple different scenarios. I do babysit siblings all the time. Some I've been with for years, some I've just met and have been working with. So we're going to talk about the different scenarios and then different ages as well, because you know, a 9 and 11-year-old will be fighting differently than a 2 and a 4-year-old. So one of the families I babysat for were two twin boys that were 6 years old. The family has since moved, but when I did babysit for them, they fought a lot. And I remember having to figure out what to do with them because they fought so much. And I definitely asked the parents what their discipline style was before they left, so that I could keep that in mind and implement it when I had to. But most of the time I was able to diffuse the problem or the fighting by getting to what the issue was. One time I remember we were playing Candyland and they were fighting over who was going to be the color blue, their figure or whatever, their piece, they both wanted to be blue, so I took the blue out. I was like, nope, pick a different color, both of you pick a different color. And that stopped the fighting immediately. I know a lot of kids, especially siblings, fight over attention, my attention. So if that was the issue, I'd get up and walk away. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this. If you guys are going to fight over who sits closer to me or whatever it might have been with me, I would remove myself from the situation. They have to do independent play until they can handle me coming back and playing with them. Mind you, I didn't leave the room or the house. I was still in their line of sight. I just stopped engaging with them and doing or playing with them until they could realize that they don't need to fight about it. I have enough attention to go around for everybody. So there was a lot of situations like that where I had to remove myself. Now, if it wasn't over me and their fighting got worse, the family used timeout as a discipline style, so they both sat on the opposite ends of the couch. I sat in the middle and read. No TV, nothing. We sat in silence, and I read a book to myself. And until they were ready to apologize to each other and move on and stop fighting, they didn't get up. I try to do other things. I try to engage with them, keep them busy enough to where they're not fighting. They're so busy they're not fighting. I have a family who has 2 girls, and I don't think I've ever seen them fight because we're so busy playing, we're engaged. There are little things like, oh no, that was my Barbie doll, or no, that I wanted to paint my nails that color. And those little things are very minor compared to what I think as sibling fighting. That's just like, oh, you guys both can paint your nails the same color. We could all match. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I nanny 2 2-year-olds. They're both from 2 different families, but they are pretty much siblings. We do everything together. They're with me 40 hours a week. So there is fighting between the 2 of them, and they're 2, so they're learning how to communicate and what they want. But just the other day, we were at the park, and there was like this dinosaur thing that you sit on and you rock back and forth. It's on a spring. And they were both fighting over it. And I gave them my warning, which is just basically saying their names in a tone, which usually stops them. But it didn't stop them this time. I actually had to go over there and I looked at the both of them. I said, I need you both to go sit on the fence. They both went and sat on the fence. Not on the fence, next to the fence, and I got down to their level and I explained to them that we don't put our hands on each other, we don't hit each other, we have to be nice, we take turns, the whole 9 yards. So I said, you guys can get up, give each other a hug, say sorry, and go play, but the dinosaur is off limits right now. And they did. They got up, they gave each other a hug, and they went and played on the slide and the swings, and the dinosaur was off limits for that just a little bit of time. And then they were able to take turns later when the dinosaur was able to be used again. And that is a perfect example of taking what the problem is away. So I eliminated the dinosaur. They were not allowed to have the dinosaur for a certain amount of time. They had to go play somewhere else. And they were fine with that. I didn't get any arguments. Nobody had a meltdown. I think they kind of got, especially because I explained it to them, that we have to take turns. And if we can't take turns, we can't play with it. I have a family that I've been working with for 10 years. They are 10 and 8. And I established really early on I've been with them since they were born, but I established really early on that I don't put up with the fighting. If they have a problem, they come to me. If they need help with getting their sibling to stop doing something or to do something, they come to me and I can help them out. So there are families that I work with that the fighting between siblings doesn't really happen because they know that I don't deal with it. They know that there will be consequences. They know that I'll take away whatever they're fighting about. So they've learned to just come to me if they need help, because we can work it out together. Most families have 2 or more kids, which means it won't be uncommon if you come across fighting siblings sometime in your babysitting career. But with that being said, make sure you're being engaging so they don't have time to fight. Go check out this playlist so you can get some ideas on how to be engaging with those kids. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.